Hello, hello. So I'm going to start off today with so many apologies for the confusion yesterday. Well, it wasn't confusing. Life just happened.
Yeah.
And
good.
it's like, I'm not really sorry about it because life happened. And that's just how we roll in motherhood and just life in general. So I got held back in an appointment that I couldn't get out of, and I actually did feel I owe Heidi an apology because I think I was in the middle of the appointment and it was like, oh my god, I feel like this is like really running late, and oh shoot, what time is it? And I think I let you know at about 20 minutes before we were supposed to go live that it was not.
But I told you I'm so grateful because as soon as you told me that, I started canceling everything. I was upstairs in here. And then I go downstairs and noticed my sink was overflowing and flooding from underneath. So had I not seen that, we would have been sitting for an hour and I would have more damage than I did. We still don't know what's going on, but the guy's coming. Yeah. Something's clogged somewhere, but
yeah.
So so thank you for it all was divinely timed.
You are so welcome for canceling our live broadcast. It's so crazy with water. The first house that my husband and I lived in, and we had the most paranormal, activity in that house. But that home, we were always having flooding issues, always in the basement. Everything was breaking. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is going on with this stupid house? And it was actually one of my medium friends. She told me, she said, whenever a house is having a lot of water issues, it means an overflowing of emotion is going on in the house, and that's how it manifests itself within the home. So
I can see that. I can see that happening for each of us, the kids and the giant and I. We have a lot on our plate this week. There's like a school event this weekend, all this stuff. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. But happiness. And Piper, I'm so happy you're here. Hi to Piper. I hope this resonates and lifts you up. And hi, Crystal. Yes, everything definitely happens for a reason, Piper. Both show. Just like all of us meeting.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. And then last night, it was so great. I spent the evening talking with, Heidi, you always say find the others. Oh my goodness. Met the most beautiful Starseed, beautiful woman. And we had so much fun because usually at these events that I go to with my husband, I usually just sit in silence and because they just want to talk about Muggle World, and I don't exist in Muggle World. And so it was so nice. I had someone who goes down all the rabbit holes and literally nothing shocks them. And so we spent hours and hours just delighting.
Covering all that. How did it start? How did it click where you're both like, what do you think of Gates? Or how do you guys find out that you're of like minds?
So
what was it?
So actually my husband knew it's someone who he's in business with. So they really connected through just with what's going on within the kind of, gosh, I hate using the word politics, but just what's going on with the great show. Okay, we're going to call it that, with the show. So he was very aware with that. And that's what told my husband about, oh, well, you should meet my wife. She goes down all these rabbit holes. And he said she should meet my wife. So they flew in from out of state. And so we already kind of knew. We kind of already had a preempt that it was going to be.
Good. That's good. I love that when that happens. That happened with one of the Giants coworkers. He was hanging out with a buddy. He goes, oh yeah, my wife's going to meet your wife. I think they talk the same. That's what they say. They talk alike. I'm like Fast and Furious and in broken sentences.
I love, usually I have to have my extrovert husband sometimes help me to find friends because I'm so introverted. Yes. Yeah.
Speaking of introverted, extroverted, my daughter just keeps shining brighter. I know she had another boom of just open throat chakra and knowing who she is. And I put a big testament to you in the class you did with the teens recently. Mm-hmm. You did a 2-part series with a couple teens, and she's a tween, but she fit right in there. And my little man Huck tried to join the first time, but he was kind of more like, what's this? He was there, but he was also like, wow. Whereas Charlie, I think, soaked it in more. So thank you. Thank you for that class. And you are a very good educator, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I love doing it. I know it's really hard for tweens and kids to open up around others that they don't know, and it was over Zoom. But as long as like we say here, just trying to give them some more tools and giving them opportunities to hear other people. I had 2 other women in there with me that were running that, and they were offering how their abilities, intuitiveness, mediumship, etc., empathic, gosh, my words, their empathy works in their lives. And so sometimes when you hear it from others other than your mother, it can help you to feel, oh, so maybe it's more than just my mom and myself feeling this. So it was really good. It's
that
good.
was fun.
And this is the giving back. This is what we do. It's how we build up the next generation and then bring them back up. But it was fun to do the 2 classes.
That was so cool. You talked about the clairs, and we were practicing reading auras. And hi, White Swan. Speaking of colors, hi, White Swan. That white ethereal aura. Hey, Moriarty in the house. Hi, Mary.
I had a lot of fun. If you guys at home ever want to play this game, doing the psychic pump, I loved that. Was so much fun. So what I did in the course was, even though we are separated by however many miles, it doesn't really matter because energy is just instant and we're all connected on an energetic soul level. So this is how a psychic pump does, is you are essentially, I close my eyes and I created this jam-packed image that was keying off all the senses, taste, sound, smell. And I was literally pulsating that image into the quantum field, focusing. And I was focusing that image going to each of the people in the class. And so what the exercise, the point of it is, and I did this for two solid minutes and just putting out the same exact image, same exact taste, smell.
And we sat with our eyes closed and just received it.
Yes, and to receive it. Absolutely. And then what you do is, after the 2 minutes, you just write down anything that you got. It could be color, taste, smell, absolutely anything that ticked any of the sensory boxes. You just wrote it down. And then I shared after that what I was putting out into the quantum field for them. And then that's an easy way for them to see which one of their clairs, their extrasensory perceptions, is most natural. Because whatever you're getting hit with first, that is what is already naturally open and aware. And then that helps them as kids going up, so that when they are feeling that, ooh, I'm getting this because of my claircognizance or clairsentience. Okay, something else is going on around here, and it helps them to navigate their world in a different way.
Oh, it was so fun. Yeah, and my daughter, she was shy to share, but you know what? She came up with bright beams of sunlight, and she could smell the beach.
Oh,
you were on the beach, and I was picturing my go-to tranquil place of vines all over and greenery and running water, and I'm like, no, I'm at the beach. But I was picturing the beach too.
That's awesome.
It was sunset, but I was more the sun, that glow at the end. I know yours was the bright midday sun, but it was still connected. Of all the things in the world we can think of, we were on the same page, and so were the kids. That was really cool. What up, Matthew?
Yep, hey Matt. Yeah, thousands of miles away. So in just 2 minutes, just what was inside of my head was able to pop into Heidi's and her daughters. And that is how the quantum field works, you guys. And this is how we can communicate in telepathy and all of the things. And Matt, I want to, bring up, since you're here, I'm so excited. Matt and I are going to be joined with Laura Van Tyne, guys who have been on the show, and Ivan Teller and Siobhan and many others in Sedona in December. So excited to go do that. I'm going to be teaching a workshop. Mine is going to be focused on opening up like opening up our avatars, activating the avatars, this energy body, and how we can, again, just like what I was talking with this psychic pump, how we can turn on all of our abilities in order to navigate this world that we're living in. And we're also going to be touring some amazing sites in Sedona. So it's not just a conference where we're going to sit and listen to people talk. This is a vacation. We're going to go and do charter tours and see Sedona, experience Sedona, but while also doing some great meditative work, throw in some workshops in between so that we can begin to open up even more and start pulling in that 5D living life that we're going to.
That's awesome. And Alexis is going to be there too.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Alexis and Jace. I'm so excited.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So
what was it? www.starseedadventures.com?
Adventures.com is where you guys can find it. And, I'm using it. Some of my family is actually going because it's so close to Christmas. That's going to be kind of our Christmas gift.
Really?
Yeah, because we're separated by 5 states. So, and we're not going to be together at Christmas. So we're going to just, thanks, Heidi. Thank you guys. It was in the chat. Thank you.
Hey, it was from my page. I didn't even see that. Huh. Oh, yeah. All my pages. I have so many pages. I have so many personalities, everybody.
So that's going to be how we spend the holidays together.
That's really cool.
And togetherness and seeing Sedona, bucket list items. So
what a great place to do that. Yep.
I've never been to Sedona. I'm so excited. So, and I'm going to be offering in-person sessions, which I rarely ever do because everything's over Zoom. So I'll be doing in-person sessions.
Awesome. Beautiful. And what a beautiful time of year there. It's going to be nice. It's like mid-December.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. We're not going to be smoked in the sun and the heat. It is going to get a little cool at nighttime. So we're going to have to bundle up to do some sky watches. But other than that, and I think the day I looked up in December, each day the high is in the low 60s. So it's just beautiful.
I love it. I was telling you I was working, but I'm going to try to come out at least the last day or two, just to get that experience, just that wave. I could be a groupie that's just hanging out. It's the very end because we go on a long 3.5 week break at the center. So that's kind of the last week. So I will be in need there. But I do wish you well, and I do want to try to catch you at least because you're only like 7 hours away. So I'm going to try to do my best to come grab a hug.
Yes. Oh, I would love it. I would love it. Even though I am taking my youngest out to LA in March to see Heidi. See LA. So, and I know that we'll be divinely protected while we're out there, and she's going to help navigate all those LA energies.
For sure. We can drive through the loosh. We don't have to wade through it.
It's interesting how people have commented. They've done so much work on their homes and their areas and just feeling so great, and then to go and drive through like really looshy places, you can actually feel it's like a force field of just negativities around these areas. My parents really felt they had to go to DC every few weeks for a while there. And the minute they hit that outer belt, my mom said it was like they just went through this etheric field of just darkness, just junk.
Mm-hmm. So. And there's pockets. So people want to think the entire Los Angeles County or all of Southern California. No. It's gorgeous. I'm staring at green right now, and we're supposed to be fried and dry by now. It's gorgeous, but there are pockets that have not been flipped light that are super like ill frequencies, and they're out there, but you kind of, as local, you kind of know where they are. So for fun, maybe as a lesson, we can drive through and just practice our shielding. And then go jump in the ocean and shake it off, but not in Venice or Santa Monica. Or Malibu, some of the dirtiest ocean water. Did you know that? We go all the way up. We go Ventura or Carpinteria. Yeah, because all those mega mansions are flushing into the ocean, and they test the water. It's the most fecal. People think Venice because of the homeless, but it's actually Malibu. And then, of course, it rides down, and gets extra. And down below, but just got to be mindful where you go. And at that time, I'm going to get us on a boat and we're going to go because the whales are there. The whales are migrating and coming down. And I worked this coolest job. We were at Zuma, which is or Westwood Beach right next to Zuma, which is a famous beach. You know, there's that rock scene in Greece and, you know, really big rock in the background. They always film at the corner of it because it's just gorgeous. We were filming on that beach and I kid you not even, you know, 6-7 feet of water. I mean, they weren't breached or anything, but there were a bunch of baby whales going and we just stopped production and we were all like, and watched these families of whales go down the beach. And then we just started rolling again after, but we were all like, oh, like we have the best job in the world. Like, this is so great. They were right there and it was winter or March. So there's not many people on the beach. So you had the experience to yourself. And they're usually before or after, there's usually a pod of dolphins too or something.
Wow.
They're kind of playing with each other. Yeah.
The whales, the whale energy, I've always just felt they are, they're really amazing record keepers as to what's going on in this planet. And I want to say they report back, but I don't know who they're reporting back to, but they do report to something, what is going on here, but they're huge record keepers. Alexis was posting, this was a while ago, what the Schumann was doing, and because he was just doing something bizarre, surprise that. And I felt into it and it just felt so musical, and I saw these huge blue whales really, really, really deep in the water. And it was like they were all coming in unison and putting out some type of vocalization as though they were working with the energy of trying to jolt or wake something up together. So again, I don't always know what it means when I'm intuiting these type of images, but I just know that the whales were part of it and they were doing something with the energy field. Speaking of energy field, I'm going to continue on my little rant.
Hi, Jermaine. Hi, Sam.
So 2 days ago, the dragons, oh my Lord, the dragons. Steve Malik, I'm friends with on Facebook. If you guys don't follow him, he's amazing. He's really connected with Sasquatch and the dragons. But so I sent this to Steve when it came through. I was in the shower and just like this dragon head came in, and he was asking, I started hearing this song asking, please call us back. We want you to call us back. We're ready. We want to come back home to you. And it was, it really hit me in the heart, really hard. And it was, they're wanting to come back. And by coming back, that means physically being by our side again. And I actually got this huge hit. I was watching a little romance movie with my youngest daughter, and it was being filmed in Ireland. And this little actor, he was playing in a dragon movie. And like so many dragon movies that we know, the whole movie was all the knights fighting and killing the dragons. And as we know, Hollywood is all ran by, certain people, the elites. And so I was thinking about, well, considering that that is a very corrupt industry ran by certain beings, which dragons had already told me started to exterminate the dragons when they were here because they didn't like the competition. They didn't want them to be here. And that's the reason why the dragons left our realm. They left our viewing.
See ya.
Yeah, they were. And well, I mean, it was multifaceted, but I can talk about that later. But that would make sense, though, why they would try to seed into our consciousness that dragons were really bad and that man should kill dragons and that, they glorify the dragon hunters of men. Well, of course, because that's what they want to educate us with, because they don't like the dragons. The dragons are part of somehow with the angelic realm. So I don't know, it just came through really strong, like, oh my gosh, that's the whole entire reason why they've seeded all of our consciousness that dragons are really bad and they should be murdered and killed. And men and knights, just like the Knights Templar did that. All falsehoods. But at any rate, the dragon energy came in so strong. And then yesterday, the heart expansion was just incredible. These energy waves coming in, and it's just, I mean, I was being guided like, put the shoulders back, really open up that chest. And all day yesterday, I really was just being in that heart space and just showing kindness and grace and forgiveness and just love with every single person that I encountered. And that's how we're going to that's how we're bringing in this new earth energy, is just being in that space, and that instant boomerang. Instantly everything that I was putting out was coming right back at me, and it was just this beautiful day. Going out and about, everyone was in a great mood, and that's just it. It's just being in that space. So as much as we can, some people I know are struggling, and they're missing home, and they're feeling very alone here. Just knowing that home is in our heart. We're never alone. We're surrounded by all of our ancestors and our team and our dragons and the angelic realms and all of our multidimensional family. They're all here. They're here, and they're here. So I mean, here. So
Yeah.
a little rant. Just the energy lately, guys. We're no longer in these retrogrades or going away. It's just we're moving into this higher frequency, and it's time. It's time to let go. Just let go of things that have been holding us back. Let go of attachments. It's truly coming into this true state of detachment from everything, and just knowing and being in that space of everything's going to be okay. Everything is divinely timed. Everything is moving us forward towards this amazing outcome, and just being in this space.
It might feel extra yucky and cruddy because it's coming to the surface, maybe things that have been buried for so long that need healing. So just sit with it. Don't be afraid of it. Just sit with it. Feel it out. Ask for, what is this dot connection for? What do I need to heal and clear here? And we're constantly going through waves of that. So, but the lighter you get, the brighter it gets. Hi, Erica. Speaking of brightness.
It's going into that, again, we mentioned last show, it's going into that state of being an observer instead of being in it. Observe it, don't become it. So.
Like victimhood. The victimhood has been difficult to watch a little bit on the socials right now, because the compassion perspective of it is they're just going through something. But oftentimes they're in their own washer or their own cycle of self-abuse. So compassionately, we have the power to send them as much love as possible so they feel that support and they can get through the crud and get going and healing. I think my heart is compassion.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. I wanted to bring up feeling of like that kind of crudiness, because, again, this is for the kids, talking with the kids. My daughter brings up quite frequently, and I had this always when I was growing up, that she always ends up becoming the therapist for her friends. She's like, I'm just more of a therapist for people, and just everyone comes to me with what's going on, what's, in their life. And I read this post, Desiree posted it today, and it said, you attract damaged people because you have a healing heart, not because something is wrong with you. Your light heals. And it's just the only advice I could give to my daughter and to anyone here is, they're coming to you because they feel your light. They know that you can understand them, and you're truly going to hear them. Really, at the heart of it, everyone just wants to be heard. But
like a moth to a flame. But the same can go with the overrun darkness too, because they see it as a challenge. Oh, I'm going to put that light out.
Yep. So that goes back again to observe it and don't become it. So, and that detachment of, I can sit and I can listen to all my friends' problems, but I can't make their problems become my problems. And as a mother with my daughter, I always say, you can be there for them, but you can't solve it for them either. This is, and just show them how, okay, things come into your path. How can you learn, and how can you grow from this? And go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, Crystal, it says you were a therapist in high school. I wonder how that was. That must have been a trip. Did you I always find when you're an educator like that in a quiet space with one child, did they open up a lot to you? Did you find any starseeds out there that were just trying to navigate? What kind of high school was it? I'm just curious about that.
I think Heidi, she was saying that when she was in high school, she was a therapist too. Kind of like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
is Crystal, please correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what you're saying is
Oh,
you're
yes, I see that now.
in that therapist role too.
I see that. I see that.
It's the moth.
People see our light. Yep.
Yep.
And the stronger you get with that, I think some of us with working with that light and working with what can be done as you're going through that process, it can be scary. It can be like, especially when something works or clicks and you're like it's hard to realize you have that much power because we all do. So some people, that's when the muting comes, or the self-sabotage, or the self-abuse, or the little voice inside your head, like, you don't want that much power. People won't like you, so, there's lifetimes of that. We just have to own it. Become the superhero we are meant to be.
Yes. 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 Erica said being an open giver is our topic next Tuesday. That is a huge, huge, huge issue that so many of us who want to the light givers, the light workers, the light healers, whatever label you want to put onto it, it is so hard because you just want to be helpful. And most oftentimes you don't realize until your cup is completely bone dry that you have just given everything away and nothing's coming back into your own cup. So
I had a lot of wake up calls with that, especially when I would host out here, because I'd open the door to everybody. All the stray cats started coming around, and I would always have all the leftovers from set, my craft service stuff. So I'd always provide all the food, all the drink, all the rice bar, the kimchi bar, the this, the that, the bubbles. And it became party all the time, which was great. And we did the work, but after a while, I would just be so drained or energy siphoned. Like there was no filling up my own cup. It was just constantly giving away and forgetting about my kids too. So that's why it was great for the blip shutting down that process. And I was notified by very good friends of mine that my boundaries were not in place. I was being taken advantage of sometimes. So checking that and realizing, because I had this mentality of, well, the universe will say, I'm trying to do right. I'm trying to help. So that'll be like the ego wanted to be repaid, or I'm doing the right thing. So it'll come back. But was it the right thing? Was it showing off how much I could give? And was, there, everything has to be in balance. But there did come a point where I was like, interesting. It's only me hosting. I never get invitations elsewhere. And then boundaries went up, and my tight community, or what Alexis says, her A team, started to form. And I started to grow and heal.
I love that. Can you pop up Liz, Miss Liz's comment? Because this one for sure. Yes, the rock for everyone else.
Yes. That's my little miss right now too. She's bridging the boys and girls in class. And it's an easy job for her because when she started her school in first grade in the grades, she was the only girl in class. So she's always been kind of one of the dudes, a little bit of a tomboy too, but there's a lot of girl drama right now. And she felt in the middle, literally trying to be the rock, trying to be the one to go to. And she started wilting. And I had to remind her, like, this is their journey too. There comes a point where you can't get your energy so milked that you can't continue to blossom. Yeah. So that was my little side note. I just thought of her because she's went through it again recently with a slumber party. But yeah, being the rock for everybody else. Ultimately, God, I had an image of everybody doing graffiti on a rock. And then going away and doing did you have the same image?
No, when I read that comment of being the rock for everyone else, I remember I think I had 2 kids at this point, and I just, when you're looking back at your life, looking for patterns, and I had noticed that I'm the rock. I am everybody's rock. For every person ever in my whole life, I've always been the rock, because most people with these type of energy codes, that's what we are. We're naturally are the rocks. These starseeds, we're the rocks, okay? Because we can handle it, and we take it on because we do. Our ego says, I can deal with it. I can handle it. Bring it on more. I'm a rock. I can handle, bring me all of your worries. And I was doing a session with my medium friend, and who I went to at least twice a year. I loved her. She's in my life for 10 years. And I just was crying. And I said, there's only so much water that a rock can take on before it begins to crack. And I said, I can't be the rock for everyone in my life anymore, because I'm literally cracking. And it was, again, that's where we bring in the boundary work again. And, and my beautiful teacher friend, she helped me with that. So it's the feeling of being overwhelmed. And we want to be there for every single person and help as much as we can, because it's that I have all this to give, and I'm the bright light, and I'm really tough, and I've handled it. I've weathered all kinds of storms. I can help you weather your storm. But I'll tell you the most beautiful image that Spirit gave me in terms of a metaphor, and I use this all the time, is a skier, a boat and a wake and a skier. And the message was, get out of someone else's wake. Mm-hmm. Get back in the boat and get out of their wake. Now you can be in the boat. So you're out in the river with them. You can give them encouragement, but you don't need to be skiing right next to them in that wake that they've created in their life. That wake is all their choices that they've made in their life. And you're trying to be out there next to them, trying to weave and wave so that you're not going and feeling those bumps. Oh, I can take it in for you. No, get your butt back in the boat. That's not your wake. You didn't create it. So.
And parents do that a lot.
Yes.
Parents do that a lot. It's hard to watch your kids struggle through something or go through something, but ultimately they have to, but you're there to support, navigate, and you're doing this around them in your own boat. But sometimes as a parent, you've got to let them ride their own wake, protect them, but let them ride and figure out their stuff too. And I really like this, Crystal, because yes, learning to accept the help from others is a big deal too. Mm-hmm. I had that mentality too, especially when I trained girls or had a team for Crafty. They loved working with me because I did everything, but I wasn't a very good delegator because I did it first. And I'd give them the small jobs, but they wanted more things to do. But I'm like, I got it. That was my thing. Even at home with the kids, I got it. I'll do it. I'll do it. And then it comes to a point where you have resentment, or you're like, hey, I'm exhausted. Where is everybody? I'm like, we were trying to help you and you shoot us away. Gotta accept the help from others.
Probably my absolute worst thing is I take on everything. And it's just easier. I'll just do it. And then all of that resentment. And then my family has to listen to me completely complain the whole time.
And then they're like,
I don't know how to do that because nobody else signed up for it. Oh yeah. Playing my little violin for sure.
Heck yeah.
Yes, Miss Liz, Starseeds are here to move mountains, but have to learn what happens to be the rock for everyone in their life. Big lessons indeed. Absolutely. Yep. And I wanted to mention earlier how we were, talking with the kids, and they have to, their life path and the things to learn. And it's really hard. I'm working on this in my life right now to whenever, because when they were toddlers and kids, the minute you would hear them cry, you want to rush and pick them up and take care of it and make it all better. But sometimes it's learning that balance of allowing them to just be in a moment and feel all of those emotions and be sad and be hurt and let them experience that and have that moment for inner reflection about it, versus you as the mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandparent, scooping them up right away and being like, no, we're going to make it all better. Why are you feeling that way? We'll make you happy. Understanding and feeling out what's the amount of time of allowing them to feel that and to sit in it for a moment, and then coming up to help process and talk things through. So
Ooh, that made me think of a learning center story. I have a learning center story from last week. The fourth graders, they're working on their dioramas and they're in teams and they're doing the four worlds of Norse mythology, like Asgard, and I don't say it right. And it's happened in each team. Now, this is the first time they've worked together, and the teamwork part has been the hardest aspect, not making the project, but the teamwork is everyone contributing and doing their best. And it turns out this situation kind of happened in each group, but one that I'm thinking of is the girl didn't say this in class, but she went home and told her family and her parents that, hey, they're leaving me out. It's not really, doesn't feel like my project. They're leaving me out and it's not mine. And the parent's solution is on the last day, and this is having done it for 4 days, here, bring in a box and do it yourself. You start over and do your own then. Like, don't be a part of the team, do your own. So at morning, she gets out of the car and she has her box. And I'm like, oh, more materials? Like you're going to put more on it? Wow, it's a lot of glue. Just like, cool. Then we get in the class and start working. I realize she's doing her own thing. Like, that's not a team. And I presented it with the teacher. And then we realized that was the parent solution for this only child. Like, oh, we're just do it yourself and start over. Like, there wasn't a sit with it or have you spoken up? And are you being heard? And because I was realizing what was happening and I'm like, but I've been watching her and she's quietly doing the work. And the other teammates are loud doing stuff, but she's not assertive and putting herself in. And I have an idea, which is very tricky, especially for an introverted child or somebody new to this kind of project. So in a nutshell, it was a really healthy, lovely discussion we were having with the kids. We even made an announcement before the last day of how it's been an honor to watch them work through these difficult moments, to treat their teammates and their classmates with respect and honoring everyone's voice and everyone having a job. And there was literally on the last day a shift in that classroom. You could feel it. There were little buzzy bees all over the place. And what went from like the outspoken troublemaker kid, I hate using that, but the one that's always got misses a minute of recess, that was just can't be bothered or can't have the attention to join in, was speaking up as well. And he was getting included. The little girl who didn't have a voice all of a sudden had a voice and her teammates heard her. Sometimes it just took the adult to say, hey, everybody, teamwork doesn't mean everyone's on the same level. It just means you're all listening to each other. You're all supporting each other and making a vision come to life. And those projects are to die for. I'm going to ask if I can share a picture of one next week, because one is the beautiful tree of life. It's just gorgeous layers. And I'm like, 9 and 10-year-olds are making this. It was beautiful. But it was once they started listening to each other and supporting each other that the creations, like, it bloomed. But my point is, some of the kids were, not understanding the adults in the room. They could come talk to us. So they went home, and sometimes the parents' first thing is just to fix it. Well, let me make you happy. Here's a quick solution. Ignore what's going on in the class and just do this. And even though we're a homeschool facility, it's kind of like, but the lesson is teamwork. So we had to kind of reevaluate for everyone what's happening. I hope that came out okay, because I was sitting on that for a while, but.
Well, no, it does, because it's applicable to people of all ages whenever you're working within a team setting. And, and I talk with my kids about this as well, is because they also get really frustrated when they have to do team projects at school, because you're always going to have like that one person who does nothing and then one person does everything. But the goal is to be, when you are a natural leader, which, I'm sorry, but just a lot of Starseeds are just natural leaders. We just are. And, but what makes a good leader is when you look to all the others and find out their strengths.
Yes.
And then a good leader, when they've helped somebody discover what their strength is, then to properly utilize them in that way. And then you divide and conquer. And then you have this beautiful, well-crafted piece of work, because everyone has shined at their strength and brought that forward.
Yes. And as the educator, the guardian in the class, through the heart, I wanted to assist however I could. And speaking of that one kid that doesn't bring anything, that happened to a couple groups. And my solution is, out of 3 of the groups, I saw one kid in each didn't. One of the boys, in which I've spoken about on here before, comes with an unhealthy lunch, has an older brother that kind of picks on him, and he just doesn't bring anything. And I realized I don't think he has the resources at home. So I asked the lead teacher if I could take those 3 outside, and we sourced. I'm like, what does your world look like to you? And one picked rocks because it was very hellish kind of thing. And one was picking trees for the earth. And one had, the icy realm and the clouds. So we went and looked for like shinier things. And it was really cool. So then they came out in the room and they were open because they're like, I'm contributing. Look what I found. And it was all put on the project. So sometimes they just need a little guidance. They don't have to have it done for them, but just guide them to help lift their spirits. And, then they'll participate, because that one boy was wandering around and we were like, geez, he won't sit with the team. And I'm like, oh, his heart was a little empty because he realized he doesn't have anything to contribute.
Everybody, everybody wants to be seen and heard. But it's figuring out how do they want to be seen and heard and understanding, because I think it's the natural state is that everybody wants to shine the way that you do, and that's not the case, so it's figuring out how does their light shine, where does it shine the best, and then doing that for them, helping them, lead them that way. So yeah, but you're right. That's our job as guardians of them, is to help them navigate that.
Totally. Yes, relationships with people help each other learn boundaries, totally. To help the ones having the relationship learn how to respect each other. This could be romantic, family, friendship. Yep. Relationship from people. It's about boundaries and, knowing who you are, being your authentic self.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. Boundaries. They're so important. Yes. Hi, Cassandra.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. A little nudge to let them feel confident in the seeds of ideas they've got inside. That is pure magic. That absolutely is. Thank you for that, Miss Liz. Absolutely. Yep. And that's the goal of all this is, raising up. The purpose of the podcast is raising up these beautiful star seeds. Again, it's not always from mom and dad, aunts, uncles, grandparents, neighbors, friends, helping these children to find the magic inside and make sure it's not squashed and buried into the earth, into the ground, and not watered.
Oh gosh, I can't help but think of too during the blip with the cover-ups and everything, of being that in the checkout lines or something and seeing a kid covered. You can do so much even just with your eyes and just emitting a love to somebody and seeing them light up. There's not one person on this thread or anywhere that has not interacted with our youth or our little starseeds or our kids. They're watching you. They're watching how you handle yourself, how you talk to the waiter, how you talk to the checkout lady, how you talk to them and look at them, and how you handle yourself. You're on. You're on blast often. And the only way we can bring up these next generations with strength and courage and honor is to emulate it ourselves and, show them the way, pretty much. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember I was at a paint store, actually, Sherwin-Williams, and this mom came in with her little boy fully just covered, and the light was gone out of his little eyes, and it made me so sad. And I really focused in, and I was there with my girls, and we saw him, and he was maybe only 4. And so we tried to interact with him the most that we could, with just huge smiles at him. And I really focused on just sending as much love light towards him as possible, just to lighten him up again. So yeah, that's how we interact with just the world all around us, and how we can share and shine our light just to help them. So yeah, that blip was a trip, I'm telling you.
It was a total trip. I was going to share that sometimes they need more personal contact too. Yeah, I noticed like at the center when some of these kids are, eyes down or quietly doing their thing, they're starseeds themselves, but they're sometimes just not seen or heard. So I love being an extra body in the room, because it's a lot for one teacher. we have 18 kids, and some of the classes only have 9 or 10. Fifth grade only has 6. But the one teacher can't give that enough one-on-one. So just to see and hear a child changes exactly how they're going to soak in that new information and learn.
Yeah, Cassandra, I'm reading your post. Yeah, the kids were absolutely the biggest victims through all of this. When I was doing a focused work during the blip, I was going a couple of times up through the different dimensionalities, different realms of like kind of need help, because it was what they're doing to children. It's, I really don't care what other adults do. They're grown adults. Those are their own choices. But when you start messing with children, is an entirely different ball game. Entirely different ball game. So,
oh yeah, that's why I started feeling the rumble out here, and kind of why I won't leave is because I've been feeling this rumble since 2010, with the medical violations against the children, and even big pharma from decades before that. But you felt the silent rumble of the mothers and the fathers rising when all these crazy laws started coming in. And I think we have 72 maxes now before the age of 6, and doses and things. Many of us do not comply with any of it, and we haven't. But you just saw the rumble, and it's so much bigger now. Some choose to leave, and I'm just and that's where their heart is calling them. But I'm kind of like, if things keep getting out of hand here, it's going to spread over there. It's like gangrene. So you can't run from this one. But here I am, still sovereign, kids safe and sound and untouched. So, but that rumbling of the parents rising, I'm like, this is going to get good. This is how we flip it. You don't piss off the parent.
You're right, Cassandra. Yeah, the inner mama bear in all of us. In all of us. You do not have to have children to have an inner mama bear inside of you.
Right.
Yes, this is the continuation of our species. It's going.
Speaking of, and I'm going to pivot hard, because I watched it before we came on. I was listening to it. But our pal Jessica Jones, Cryptid Huntress, I just reposted her latest one with Jesus Peyton, I think it is. He was in Breaking Bad. He's Gonzo in Breaking Bad. I don't know if you saw that. But they started going over prior civilizations, that we've been told a story that is quite different. We all know history books are fake news. But they just dive deep into it. The world fairs and the architecture and all these. We've had prior civilizations going forever. We, as this current civilization, I think we can feel it. We can feel like, oh my God, they're trying to wipe us out. And there's this just gentle roar and an uprising of, oh, hell no. So the more future generations we can protect, we don't have to be another one of those fake news stories of a civilization that didn't exist.
Yeah. I was telling my kids during the blip, I said, if you've ever questioned when people say that the majority of our history that we're learning from books is a lie, and that history is only told from the person who wrote the book, you're getting their perspective. I go, if you've ever questioned whether that was an accurate statement or not, look at this blip. There are going to be people who are writing books at this particular time that will have no bearing as to how you experienced this time. And people who believed all of the lies, the whole agenda, and they're going to write all of these books about it. And then you're going to have this whole other portion, all of our viewers included, that had an entirely different perspective of all of it and saw it for the absolute fraud that it was.
And a different experience.
A totally different experience. Totally different experience. And so that right there showed, yes, you need to always get 2 sources or something, not just one.
And run it through this beautiful filter. Yes. That's your filter.
I know. I bought a book for my kids, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the title of it, so if you like flipping this way through the book, it was World War II from like Germany's perspective. And then the other side of it, flipping that way through the book, was the war from, I think it was like Britain's perspective. I just can't remember, but it was the 2 different countries' perspective of the war. And it's just so fascinating because, again, it shows you that reality is only perception.
Were any of those chapters about the UFOs the pilot saw?
That's a whole,
Did it
that's
make the cut?
a whole other conversation entirely. Well, it never actually ended, and nobody won. I mean, we totally lost, and it just continued on.
There's that too. Yep. We need a whole nother series.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. I mean, my God, concluding, I was, so my oldest daughter is a columnist now for her school paper, and she can write about whatever she wants to. And she's like, I don't know what I think she's going to do on history because she loves history. And I said, ooh, you can tell true history. You should write all about the Titanic and the true history of Titanic and the Federal Reserve.
Is she going to?
She's a maybe the next one, but I don't think this next one coming like this one.
She's like gently stirring the pot. I tell you, from being called Craftspiracy on set and talking about literal demonic Illuminadonkeys and the studios I worked within while I was in them, I swear it's an art of it's all in the delivery.
Yes.
Because you can get by on red pilling and dropping the truth bombs, even near a demon. You could. It's just possible, and I know your daughter can do it.
Oh yeah, she can.
Yeah. It's all in the delivery. Jermaine, you're so cute. He keeps the count up. We are on other streaming elsewhere, so it's a little bit juicier, but I do, but you're so sweet. I appreciate you.
I'm doing this with my eyes a lot. I've been looking at these ring lights for 3.5 hours now, and my eyeballs feel like they're going to come out of my skull.
Oh no. Well, tell me when you're throwing in the towel. It's all good.
I'm just letting people who are watching this like, what does she keep doing? So keep doing this and drinking my water. Just literally because my eyes are burning. I keep trying to move them. They're so bright.
Thank you for your transparency. You could have said, oh, there's another being here and I'm getting dry eyed.
No, pure
truth.
I don't want shadows on my face.
I'm in my window, but half of it's closed because it'll blow me out.
Yes.
But yeah, it's so funny when you see people with their little setups and things. And I'm just in a little corner of our guest room, and I'm on a plastic TV tray that the kids made for the giant for Christmas one year. And it's painted. I'm looking at the giant and their handprints and all these things. And it's very we're just like moving and shaking here in podcast land.
I have I'll let everybody, the audience, know at home. I am in a little corner in my bedroom, and my computer is resting on top of a candle to prop it up higher. And a side table that, when I'm done with these, goes back out to the family room next to the couch. So.
Oh, you do have to do it each time. Yeah, I steal my son's little office or his desk swivel chair so I could prop my plant up, which the plant is from my bedroom.
Love that. Well,
we set the scene, and then I do my little. Only the highest vibration is offered here at this time. I do my incense. Full transparency, peeps.
Yep.
I got all the things in here. Palo Santo. I got pine. Smells fabulous.
I have this table next to me that the plant is on is where I store all of my extra crystals. I have my newest sound bowl I got from Arlen. And oh my gosh, I'm going to show this beautiful organite pyramid because I have all the electronics here. So I always have it. This is Christina.
Is that one Mason or Christina?
One is Christina. Yes. That labradorite is smack in the middle. And look at this. Oh, it's so good.
Ooh.
Yes.
That's pretty.
Copper kettles.
Yes. Yeah, my Christina one is next to the modem, but I got that family grid set. So it's down next to the modem. We have one on each of our nightstands, and then on the opposite of the room. It's kind of 2 sets. And then the kids have one each on their nightstand. And then I gifted my sister one. And I swear to goodness, she's a lot nicer. I swear to goodness, since I gifted that. She's got a little less frequency happening in there. Speaking of which, I think there was a little, I don't know if it was a blast a while ago or what. There's all these I'm saying this because we've been cleaning up furiously lately, and my hair. Everyone's saying your hair is falling out with COVID. Or I shouldn't even say that on here. And I'm like, or is it the radiation? And the EMF stuff.
Oh my
Like
God.
you can blame that flu all you want, but we've been getting blasted.
Blasted, you guys, blasted. I was in a doctor's appointment yesterday with a functional medicine medical practitioner, and I was bringing up to her the solar flares, and I go, well, that we've been getting smoked. We're literally just walking around with gamma rays all around us, radiation all around us all the time, and the effects that it's having on the body. And she said, I've never even thought about that.
They often don't.
It is.
Yeah. That's what this is. Giant gifted me this as my own little personal EMF protection.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have this. This is my Omnia necklace that I got at the SSP conference. This is this is a little piece of wood, but it has a little frequency device in the back.
Oh, awesome.
I wear this everywhere. So,
awesome.
Yes. Oh, the hair. Yeah. I lost. I absolutely lost hair after a little bout with some illness, but it's now. It's I can feel it's kind of funky. It's like it's full through here because it's starting to grow back. So that's why I do this a lot right now because it's like been growing out because I lost half of it.
Did you see my one chunk? It's like, am I going to give her a short blunt cut? Nah, fuck it. Let's keep it long. It's like, what does she do? But I got like so much taken off. I'm like, okay, it's healthy now. All the dead off. Nope, keeps coming out and about. And so just I added biotin though. Biotin for the hair, nails, and just trying to add more nutrients like Cassandra. Yep, the right foods, trying to eat the right stuff, and then not stress about it.
I added a lot of collagen, more collagen into my smoothies, my kitchen sink smoothie that I have in the morning. Obviously, and then my magnesium I take every day, which Heidi recommended to me. I'm loving that. So that helps. And potassium, I put potassium and probiotics in with that. But yeah, so the collagen is helping. And then just for like my skin, I've added vitamin E, and it's in a jojoba oil. And so I've been adding vitamin E to help my skin feel better. So many different things. Liz, yeah, I've got so many baby hair layers. Yes. Yes. Yeah, but at least it's coming back. I'm happy it's coming back.
Mm-hmm. And I have all those things you listed. I just have to do it. I get on a roll and I'm like, I've had 3 days of my vitamins, and then it's like a week goes by. Oops.
Yeah. So this is what I did. I have to, because if I put it into a cabinet, I will never use it because I will completely forget about it. So as much as it drives my OCD husband insane, because it does, I have all of my things in a corner on the kitchen counter, and it's like this is where I go and I make it, and then because I can visually see it and it's right there, I do all my little mixology with it.
I love that.
Yeah,
I have to bring them out again. I have done that before because the mixology is funny because I'll do that with the kids. I'll be like, let's give you a little bit of this, and you need some more of this. Get your greens. Here you go.
Yes. My issue is that my mantra has always been go big or go home. And that has always sometimes been my worst enemy because I started adding chia seeds every day to help bring in some natural magnesium into my body that way. And you're supposed to do like a measured amount for that. And I measure nothing. I trust my eyeballs. And then after my eyeballs, I just say, Spirit must have needed it, which usually means like 4 tablespoons versus 2 teaspoons.
So is that the rush home? Are you just totally cleaned out?
So then, yes. So then my bigger go home comes and bites me in the booty. Because I've measured nothing. Yes.
That's too funny.
Yes. And I agree with you, Stephanie. Like she wrote, you just never know what brands.
Oh.
It's really, really hard. I will share, you know what? I don't have it next to me. I will share with you guys this week, if you guys want us to, some of the things that I do use. There is one brand that I do use because I know the owners. I've actually met the scientist who makes it. They've been in my home. And everything is of the highest quality. It's all organic. It is very, very clean. High standards. I know their whole family. So I trust those. I trust those people. And I will share that with you guys next week if you want me to, if you guys are wanting.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I did a live in 21, and I had all my arsenal out, and surprisingly, it didn't get taken off of YouTube. Some of my other ones did because I said all the things regarding medical stuff, but this was just a vitamin supplements, and I gave my regime and the products, and I still use the same one, so I could share. I want to share that one. But I was just talking this morning with Piper, who was here earlier, about MMS. Chlorine dioxide, and the ones I like and that I've had and that I bought, and I got them on Amazon, which I know is la 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 la. But I checked out the company, and I dig the company. The company's got it going on. I don't think the product was altered because you're dealing with 2 chemical compounds. So you can see basically what it is. There's no fillers or anything. When it comes to vitamins, I think you do have to research the brands. So yes, please share what you do use. I think that would be incredibly helpful.
Cool.
Hydrate elbow cough.
Yeah.
I just love all the colors all the time. I was a socialist before.
Oh my God. If you know me in my personal life, I always have water on me at all times, because if I do not, I won't do it. So it is, I have absolutely taken my physical glasses from my kitchen, like, to the gym. I went to a training session and I had like my kitchen glass full of water, and the trainer goes, I've actually never seen someone actually bring their dishware into here to work out. And I said, I have to make my ounces. I have to make my ounces every single day. And it's just what was in my hand, because I never leave without it. But I also live in very hot, humid area, and it's very easy to get dehydrated here quickly. But with all the solar flares and everything else, we need to be drinking even more, regardless of the temperatures.
Tons. And us, you wouldn't dare touch the tap water. I have my little measuring stick of how to measure tap water, and I bring that everywhere we go. But that's something I kind of trained the kids earlier on, is grabbing the water bottles. So we have our 0 water filter, and we need water bottles wherever we go. Cell salts. Really liked the cell salts. Didn't Alex Bloom refer that to us? I've been taking those ever since, with the kids too. I don't know if that's more of a hydration, but that's kind of headachy. Because sometimes I'll get a headache. I'm like, oh, I'm dehydrated. Yeah. But it also needs, your minerals are low.
It needs your minerals. So I have those same, Highlands is the brand of those, and it is the cell salts. I take those, and again, yeah, Alex recommended those. Like if I'm getting some Charlie horses, which is, again, you need magnesium and potassium, but so those tiny little cell, and I love them because they're super tiny and they just dissolve under your tongue, and oh my gosh, my brain just went. It's all natural. It's homeopathic.
Yep. The kids like them, all ages too. My kids take them.
Yes.
I haven't had the moss stuff. World moss. People are talking about sea moss. Is that the sea moss? Is that what it is? World moss? Or there's something seagrass.
I love taking seaweed. I have that in like the kelp. I
like my sushi seaweed.
Matcha.
Oh, kombucha. You're not a kombucha girl, though, are you?
No, I can't. No, I can't do that.
I literally was on the hunt in Grafton. I had to go 30 miles out just to get my kombucha. I crave it sometimes. Especially like the Clean and Soaper on my kombuchas do like my bing.
Yeah. Cassandra, where do you get your sea moss from? Can you put it in the comments? Because I would love to know a really good product for that. And Matthew said sea moss is legit.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're on a roll here. I need to get some of this.
So what brands do you guys use? Put them up on the screen so you can find that. Again, like, this is how we all come together and we help each other just find the things to help us get through this right now. Get cool avatars through it.
Yeah, because
I was thinking, sorry, I was thinking about how, you know, the human body, it's just a huge computer system. This is just a computer, the most advanced computer technology that you can imagine, this avatar that we're in. And, you know, I was thinking like the mouth is just like the USB. Like you know, when you're wanting to do a download into a computer, you pop in the USB so you can download the program. And that would be the food that we eat. And this is how we inhale the viruses that come in. So if we're eating things that are not in alignment and really crappy food, well, you're literally downloading a virus into the body and then it becomes ill, you know, the dis-ease within it. And that's why it's so important that what we're putting in through the USB is good for us.
great analogy there. I think the brand was World Moss.
Okay.
That's the brand there that Cassandra uses. Awesome. And the stress. Stress is everything. Stress blows. Stress is manufactured as well. That's the whole intent of programming. I mean, just to get you away from that natural state of bliss, but stress alone can make you sick. So when we talk about the hair falling out or the blasts or any of that stuff, we are in a war, everybody. I think we all know that by now. So we are dodging, we are weaving, we are shields up, we are swords out, and we're doing what we can to navigate this while the kids are watching us.
Yeah.
But the panic and the stress and the pitchfork fighting against it, that which you resist persists, I just feel like it's going to get us sicker. So we just have to keep arming ourselves with more tools and more ways to get through the sludge. Plus, we're mutants, so we're kind of just naturally mutating through it all too. Just be mindful of the stress of it all, because I went through another round of that again, especially when I saw the hair in this thing. I was like, holy hell. And my mind goes to all the other crazy dark things. And then I'm like, dodge and weave, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. That's the biggest takeaway. And again, it just goes back to the detachment.
I'm reading that too. If it's the sea moss is low with iodine, because I think it was Matthew on your show like 2 years ago during the blip. I think you said it, and I was like, oh, I have it. And that's what inspired me to do what supplements I take, the iodine with kelp. I used to have that on my craft service table, and I would tell people, this is going to help you from the Argyle skies. And they'll be like, what? And they're like, just, it'll help with the heavy metals. I think it helps with heavy metals. I don't know if it has the same properties as sea moss, though, even though it says iodine with kelp. Plain old iodine, I know you have to take in very small doses and not forever, right?
Yeah, I have liquid iodine that I add every so often to my kitchen sink smoothie.
So do you have it daily? And White Swan, do you as well? I'm seeing all this. For some reason, unless that's my mom programming me, I look at it and I'm like, ooh, little bit, just a little bit. But if it's cool, I figured the iodine with kelp would be good daily, but if regular iodine. Oh well, you're inspiring me to make my own little corner and tell my OCD husband another quinky dink.
Quinky dink, yes.
Like, shut it.
Yes.
This is happening.
Just claim your corner of the kitchen counter. Claim it. Just like you claim your sovereignty, claim your corner of the counter.
I'm like, I'm the one cooking in here. This is my kitchen. That I just flooded yesterday.
Oh my gosh, that's so stressful.
Okay, cool. Nascent iodine.
Okay. Earth. Kelp is great source. Yeah.
All seaweed has iodine. Oh, cool. I'm learning something new.
I know. Thank you guys. I love our chats. I love the chat. So informative.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Iodine with kelp is great. We took it very effective. There you go.
That's so important with the thyroid and the endocrine system, because again, that's what's getting smoked. Okay, I want to ask you guys really quick, speaking of the thyroid, what is up with all of the seeding that they're putting into the consciousness that we all need to buy the radiation, the iodine?
I know. Well, I think there's so much fear porn attached to the Loosh buffet online. You know, as much as we all gather on Telegram and share information, there's eyes in the sky everywhere. So there might be a trend to find the latest thing. And, you know, there's talk of nuclear, which I think our pals up above have already handled that business. Just more fear porn. So if they start seeding you with that, they'll be like, oh my God, they're getting us ready for this. And then, oh my God, and here's another date. I don't know. I guess I have to see the light in that, but when that crazy infiltrator we had, the military made us. I dove a little when I was diving deep into him because he would make comments about radiation and you all look poisoned and nuclear blasts and things like that, and that's how I started researching about the iodine stuff. But I think it goes beyond nuclear. It's just the radiation thing. I'm getting 10 thoughts at once, so I don't know. I lost myself.
Yeah.
Guys,
the nuclear stuff it's not going to happen. Yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not going to happen.
It'd be that the solar flash, which I still here's a little concept. The solar flash is within us. Aren't we walking solar flashes? Because when we when we work on that light body and get to our highest best self, we're walking fucking solar flashes. You can walk into the room and be your own little solar flash and help awaken others. It's just a little thought I had recently about that. But, you know, we have that one big one. I bet you, that's where the fear porn Loosh buffet is going to be like, it's nuclear, take cover. And then some of us are going to be like, I feel it.
Yep. So zero fear. Don't let them seed it. They're just trying. So it's just something I observed.
Yeah, that's the same. I kept hearing benevolent ETs. Yeah, wasn't it the 80s? The treaties were made. It was like, you're not messing up our planet.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they disabled everything because, again, they were protecting this planet. It's not about us. They're like, you're not going to destroy this planet.
This is an intergalactic party planet. We got resources for tons of species. And there's tons of species here now. They don't want to get jacked.
Yeah. No, they don't. I mean, it would affect all the inner earth beings as well. So, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. Thank you for these little chats. How are you doing with your time, Abby?
I'm doing good. I think it's probably about time to wrap it up. I think we've handled all the Loosh buffet stuff.
We talked kids. We talked, again, that's the platform. We are moms, we are wives, we are way showers, and we talk all the things because it's what's happening. We're not going to ignore it. This is what's going down right now.
Yeah, I was, I was talking with somebody this past week. There's a man sitting next to me on an airplane. I was reading The Transformation, the Kathy O'Brien story. And I told him how I had just left a conference where I was speaking about consciousness and spirituality. And when I did, and a few minutes later, he said, I'm sorry, I know you're reading, but I have to ask you a question. He said, I've been trying to figure out why a medium and intuitive who's into consciousness is reading a book about the CIA and MK Ultra. And I looked at him and I said, because it's all connected. And you need to get to the point where you realize it's all connected. And that's the reason why on this podcast, we cover all of the things. Because again, they're all connected. You can't leave one out of it. It's so multifaceted.
And I still run into moms who mean well, who see there are agendas out there, who are still a little bit on the fear train, but they're like, I got to do something. And if they refuse to look at a lot of this stuff, guess what? They're just in the hamster wheel. They're not connecting the dots enough to rise above it or ascend it or transmute it for their kids. So I find it's important to talk about all this stuff, the uncomfortable, yucky stuff too, because we can throw our high vibe 2 cents in on it.
Yep.
That's where we're at.
I mean, yeah, even all the yucky, uncomfortable stuff, you just have to figure out a way to alchemize that and find the light within it. And we usually make a joke about it or a meme. Thank God for neat memes. I'm telling you what.
I'll tell you what.
So brilliant. They're just so brilliant. It's fabulous.
It's pretty smart. It's really smart. It was a smart meme gods. R.I.P. meme gods. I think a lot of us met each other in there. And I'm really tired of when people are like, but the left can't meme. I go, are you still talking about the left-right thing? That's so 2020.
Thank you, Cassandra. Cassandra just, hey, Heidi, she sent me the link. I'll send it to you guys.
Perfect.
We will post it underneath this video for you guys.
Ooh, mossy. That'll be good for skin and everything, right? My only skin regimen.
Time for us, Heidi.
Pardon?
Make that sound for us one more time.
Do you know what I do now for that? So I saw Galactic Man yesterday, and out of the blue, he mentioned my makeup. Could it possibly be when I turned over on the bed, it was like a ring around the white paper of makeup? And I'm like, I never leave home without it. I do have a problem with that because I was trained at a young age that the exterior matters more and to cover shit up. So I'm working on it. But I also am tried and true and have used the same stuff forever. He just started talking. He goes, phallic-free makeup, PHALLIC, or not like phallic. I think I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying? He just starts talking about things. He goes, look into it. And then he went on to something else. And I was like, what, did he know something I don't know? And I started reading in and I'm like, I got to change the whole thing. But my regimen is a beautiful aloe plant I have in the back that just keeps growing because every time I come up to it with scissors, I'm always like, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You're the best. And I cut it and I'm like, because it oozes and you're like, sorry. But it's such a gift. And that's what I use on my face. And it goes, that's my facelift. So any mom gatherings I have, I'm like, you need an arm? You want one arm of my plant? Anybody need some face stuff? And I can tell when I don't have it. I get my little jowlies again. So
yeah,
aloe plant.
Jollies. You know, it's so funny. I actually, I pretty much go everywhere with no makeup here. The only time I really put makeup on is for the podcast.
My son stopped me once. He goes, "Did you just put on lipstick to get the mail?" I'm like, I go, it's like chapstick. And it's the same thing I've worn since high school. Rimmel 66. And no, it's not satanic. It's just Heather Shimmer. And I've always had it. And I have to get it on Amazon now because you can't find it anywhere. It's a thing. Look, they're right here. I got my lipstick.
You know what? Somebody brought up the number 66 last night because they're like, "Oh no, don't bring up the number. It's a bad number." And I shouted across. There was 20 people there. I go, "We're reclaiming that number.
Yeah,
and we're taking it back." I said, that is divine frequency 369. It's a soft geo frequency number. We're taking it back.
Taking it back.
Negative energy to it anymore.
Oh, I have one more little funny. It might be inappropriate, but I'm gonna do it anyway. We were carpool, and the temperature gauge on the car was 69. And Huck's like, it's that number. And I'm like, what do you know about that number? like what's 69? He goes, because if you flip it, it's the same. It's the same. I'm like, yes, that's that number. Yes, what a silly number.
It's the yin and yang number.
Yes. I don't know why I just shared that. The energy is coming in, I guess.
You're right. Yes, 6, it's the creation. So, yeah. I was happy that I shouted that out last night. We're reclaiming that number. That's a sacred number. Not bad.
We're reclaiming all the things. Let's reclaim all the divine things.
Yes. And the number 13. The number 13 is not a bad number. We have 13 months in the year, 13 moon cycles. 13 is a feminine number. It's divine feminine number. We're taking that number back.
We're taking it back. And speaking of, I totally forgot how I was going to say it, but like the holiday coming up, people are kind of like, me in darkness and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I'm having fun. I did have to take my spiders. I decorated everything I have in the front. I had to take the spiders off because I scared the neighbor. So the Truman Show neighborhood. Remember we moved in? I'm like, wonder how they're going to be with my decorations. Already scared one lady. And we literally took it down. I'm like, what? So now I'm just going to litter the backyard. But come on, let's just reclaim the fun in it all. Pardon?
Why did you take it down?
Well, she is a little like funky. Like I want to give her a parasite cleanse. Like she's like, like, so I'm like, you know what? I don't want to trigger her right now. And I have so many other things out there. There's a skeleton waving in a chair going like this. Like that didn't get her, but my fuzzy spider hanging in a tree with like a happy face got her. So I'm like, she's got a spider thing. Okay. So we're not going there for trick or treat, but we are participating in the holidays. Yeah. I am a mom and I get off on it. I love the holidays.
I absolutely love this holiday. It's one of my faves. It is one of my kids' favorite. We love decorating. It brings us so much joy and so much laughter. We laugh the entire time. And for us, you know, in my family, and we've talked about, I think I covered this last year, the same time of the podcast. We when you deal with spirit actually in your life all the time, this is fun. Like it kind of helps us to, again, alchemize it and make it fun and funny because we deal with the good and the bad of it all the time. And gosh darn you, we're going to have fun with it. And you're not going to make me feel bad for it because it's not demonic.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gifting my kids a Ouija board and opening it up every night. Like we're having some fun with silly treats and apples with marshmallows sticking out of them and like, you know, the silly things. But on that note, we do have 2 fun guests coming up for the Halloween season for storytelling. Like who loves a good little ghost story? And I have a little ghost story myself I want to share about my son. But I'll save it for then. I think I told you that one, the one with my, anyway, I'll show you that one then.
For our October 20th live, that is going to be a Halloween story hour there's one of my friends here in Charleston. She did a lot of the ghost tours here for this beautiful old city, one of the oldest cities in America. And she has amazing stories to share and tell. True stories. So yes, very.
And if you're doing the work, you're protected. You are a light source. Dark cannot penetrate that light. Have fun. Just have fun with it. We all need to open up our crown chakra and laugh a little bit more. So I did put to rest my witch. I don't know if you remember my prosthetic nose, and I'm always the screen witch. But I had so much fun with those Elvirs. I'm just going all in with that this year. Perfect. I'm going to play the part.
I love it. I love that. You're going I'm going to go as a fairy. Well, of course you're going to go as a fairy because that's what you are. I love that. Yes. Yeah. I have to go get the kids' costumes because they're all going to go trick-or-treating. So I don't know what.
I'm like, you dig through the bags I have, mofos. I've been buying costumes and making costumes for years. You better source.
That's what my mom always told us every single year because we did dance recitals, so we had all these costumes. She goes, just go through the dance recital costumes and figure it out.
And Charlie just wants to be a mushroom, so she's got like a mushroom hat she's made and mushroom. I don't know why. And Huck's gonna use this from last year, so he was fine with that. But I was buying a lot of stuff, and I hosted the most epic Halloween parties every year. This is the first year we're not. And I'm kind of happy about it because I would already be party planning and things would be in corners and set up. And it's just not that kind of house and we're too far. But I don't want to anymore. Like, send me your invites. Okay. Like I've done my fair share of hosting. And the kids are just happy about that because we're going to party hop. Plus last year is a 1-year anniversary of my injury, which is still not fixed. You see my fingers are deformed. And I won't get the surgery. I have to like close it. And that was that dang witch costume I tripped on. That's why I'm never wearing it again. But yeah, and I can't sue him, turns out, unless I have the surgery and it still doesn't work. So I'm just not up for surgery for this. So I'm just gonna have a funky little hand and a story to tell. Oh. You know, isn't that crazy? But I can finally make a fist. It's just I have to literally pull my fingers down to make. Isn't that crazy? That was last Halloween. So am I holding on to it and holding a grudge on Halloween? No. Do I drink anymore? No. I did have an extra glass that night, but I was trying to save the chickens who were getting mauled by a raccoon, and I ran and tripped over my costume in my steel boot toes or shoes that I always wear. So,
oh my gosh.
Gonna change it up this year.
Yep. Jermaine, you're right. Yep. Fairies and elves are both very, very, very real.
And here we are.
All right, guys.
So funny. That was like a 20-minute goodbye.
Yes, we will see you next week, and we're so excited for the 20th to bring in a Halloween storytelling special with Andrea, Saint Amand.
Can we wear something fun? Can I wear my elf ears?
You can wear whatever you want to. I got I have a new sweater with skulls on it all over.
There you go. We'll get into the spirit. Yes. All right. Thank you for playing, everybody, and for finding us today. Our usual Thursday live. We had a bump, and you're still here. So thank you. Yes. Thank you, peeps. And have a beautiful weekend. It's just gorgeous today over here in SoCal. So I hope where everybody's at, emulate that light, walk out, lighten up your community, be the light, be the way shower, find the others, heal yourself.
Yeah, and have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, everybody. Oh, and Starseed Adventures.
Yes.
Very excited for you guys for that. So the information and flyer and all that info can be found on Abby's page and Matthew's page, and Alexis's page and Ivan's page.
Yep, and I'll be going live tomorrow night at 8 o'clock on Matthew's channel, School Multidimensional Thought. Yep. So we'll be live with Matt for the roundtable for the Starseed Adventures, the Sedona event.
Woohoo! I'm going to blow that chat up. I'll see you all in the chat there tomorrow. Okay. Bye, everybody. Thank you very much.